Not everything is nice in the world of basketball. Like any other sport, it has a dark side, and we're gonna take a deeper look into it. Since there are a few players that throughout the years had made dirty playing a recurring act in their careers. So this time, we bring you 8 dirtiest players in the history of NBA. Take a seat and enjoy our list for the 8 dirtiest players in the history of NBA. But first, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell to know when we upload new videos. Kobe Bryant softened a bit as he got older, but that doesn't mean that the things he did in his youth never happened, nor does it mean that he stopped playing a little naughty at the end of his career. Hitting someone in the area trying to make room for a shot, Bryant was a master. In fact, he always blew a whistle in his favor when he made a dirty play. Surely, the fans of Kobe will argue that those were only accidental touches. The legacy of Bryant is always the name of an athlete who had total control of his body. For this skill, we respect him. We respect him enough to admit he played dirty many times. Charles Oakley. If there was a player they shouldn't mess with, it was Oakley. There was no fault that it was too difficult for him to perform. He is the man that Jalen Rose once called the Dark Alley Boy. We all know what that means. It's the perfect way to describe him. Charles Oakley was very dirty in his way of playing basketball. Oakley now mocks the softness of today's players. If there was a version of wrestling involving NBA players, he will be the last man standing. Reggie Evans. There are certain things that go beyond the realm of dirty. They begin to enter a realm where if the other guy turns around and breaks your jaw, it shouldn't even be called a fault. Evans, reaching into the lower regions of Chris Kaman and squeezing them, certainly qualifies as that. In 2010, he was the winner on a survey made by the players of the NBA as the dirtiest forward. In 2006, due to his foul play, he had to pay a fine of $10,000. His defensive maneuvers consist of grabbing, holding, and slapping. Dikembe Mutombo could be one of the nicest players in history when the game wasn't running, but when the whistle blew and the game started, the man was completely different. He was a totally reckless player with his elbows. He used his elbows to punch his opponents everywhere, as if they were actually in a street fight instead of playing basketball. The famous television network ESPN has a list of the 25 injuries caused by Dikembe Mutombo and was only updated until 2004. Do I need to say more? I don't think so. So, we all know how dirty Mutombo was during his career at the NBA. Dennis Rodman. More than any player in the history of the game, he's in the Hall of Fame almost exclusively for 2 reasons: defense and rebounds. And you don't do those things as well as he does, not knowing how to get a little dirty. Rodman was an expert. He mastered every trick of the trade, every tool on the ship to determine how to position himself to get the bounce. He beat countless men who were bigger, stronger, and heavier than he was. But he did it using his elbows, nails, feet, hair, and everything he could to gain position. Kevin Garnett. It is known that he used to hit the opponents in the balls while climbing in the jumps. He was pushing the players around, he talked trash, sometimes he went too far. He called his rivals, quote-unquote, cancer patients. His language on the court was awful, blocking every shot that was fired when the clock was over. There is no need to defend him either. Garnett will surely be proud at his location here at number 3 on this list. He was just mean on the court. Bill Laimbeer. You ask yourself, how bad was Bill Laimbeer? Let's put it this way. They did a video game titled Bill Laimbeer's Combat Basketball. The game was a kind of cross between the Death Race 2000 and basketball. The violence was encouraged. Laimbeer was the baddest of the bad boys, and he did not apologize for it. He just said he did what he had to do to win. You cannot argue with the results. He has 2 rings. If there was one elbow to throw, Laimbeer was very happy to throw it away. He not only played dirty, he was proud of playing dirty. Bruce Bowen. Bruce Bowen is the dirtiest player of all times in the history of the NBA. Bowen had the tendency to slide his foot under the field opponents when they were not to a challenge suspension. When the players came down, they ruined their ankles or knees. Such a move can devastate a player's career, and Bowen's habit caused several players, including Steve Francis and Vince Carter, to be injured. Even when it does not result in injury, the fear of an injury can take a player out of his rhythm. Bowen was a great defender apart from his dirty tactics. But there is a big difference between the dirty hard and the malicious, and the San Antonio Spurs stopper was the last. Thanks for watching our video. Don't forget to like and share this video with your friends. See you in the next video.